David DeGuzman inside the NBC4 Digital Center. Another digital sports roundtable is coming up as we are getting closer now to the Paris Olympics. We bring in Olympic superfan Orri Benatar. The action is heating up because now we are talking about the action that's to come. We have stuff to talk about. We're not just previewing. We can actually look at stuff. Yeah, we can actually look at events and tell you what's to come. So this little roundtable will be talking about the events that you should look out for over the first half of the Olympics. And it's a really packed first half because as we start to talk about things, we actually have something to look out for right before the opening ceremony. I mean, safe to say we should probably look out for that, right? Competition starts Wednesday with the opening ceremony on Friday. So what are we looking out for, Orri?
So before the opening ceremony, because of the fact that some of these team sports you can't fit into 2 weeks without risking injuries for players.
Plus, like, the venues are busy. You can't have rugby and then athletics within 17 days.
Right. So I believe in total there are going to be 4 sports happening before the opening ceremony. So there's going to be the archery qualification rounds, which every archer will shoot 72 arrows to determine seeding for all the different archery tournaments. But the biggest ones will be in the team sport. You'll have the first women's handball matches. The men's rugby tournament will actually be almost finished before the opening ceremony because it's rugby sevens. It's much shorter matches. They're going to play all the pool matches Wednesday and Thursday and then have the quarterfinals the day before the opening ceremony. And that will lead into the semifinals and the gold medal and bronze medal games on day one, the Saturday. But also you'll have the opening rounds for both the men's and women's soccer tournaments. So the first really big event for these Olympics, 3 o'clock on Wednesday in Marseille, France versus the United States men's soccer opener. Crew goalkeeper Patrick Schulte expected to probably start. And then on Thursday, July 25th, the U.S. women start their soccer journey against Zambia as they look for their first gold medal since 2012.
That's going to be great stuff to get us warmed up. And then, of course, we have the opening ceremony. We're not going to talk too much about it because we have a whole article and a whole discussion saved for that. But first off, if you haven't heard yet, you can watch it live, NBC4. Coverage really starts at 1:30. The actual ceremony starts at 2. It's a 4-hour ceremony. Honestly, just keep NBC4 up the entire day, starting with the Today Show for 2 weeks, really. But any quick note on the opening ceremony other than watch it because it's going to be amazing?
I'm very curious to see. The two things I'm always watch out for, specifically this one, I'm very curious how the Parade of Nations will go because it's on the water. But to me, the thing that I always look forward to the most with the opening ceremony is who that final torchbearer is that lights the cauldron. And France hasn't hosted the Olympics in 100 years. So who that person's going to be, there's 100 years worth of options.
I know.
Obviously, not everyone is still alive, but you could go from Zinedine Zidane to Thierry Henry or... there's a million names.
Will they go soccer? Will they go, even though rugby union isn't the Olympics and it's rugby sevens, will they go with a rugby player? Will they go with, I don't know, a tennis player? There's a lot of options here.
It could just be Kylian Mbappe for all we know.
Right. And the one discussion that I had earlier with someone else was that will they limit it to summer, which they usually do, but there's also so many great winter Olympian athletes too from France, and it's do you leave them out? It's probably something up for debate, but I am interested to see. So for the purposes of this, we're not going to go day by day. However, I think there are specific things that we want to circle on the calendar, and it really starts with day one, at least for me. There is a huge matchup in the pool, that women's 400-meter freestyle, where you have Ariane Titmus from Australia, Katie Ledecky from the United States, those two going head-to-head. And then, of course, you have this phenom from Canada up north, Summer McIntosh.
Yeah, that will be probably the first big prime headline-grabbing swimming race. Obviously, swimming is one of those sports that starts and ends during the first week of the game. So all the swimming finals are going to be taking place starting from Saturday through until that second weekend. So all those swimming finals going to be taking place, all going to be live on NBC4, all going to start around 2:30.
Afternoonish. Prelims in the morning, early morning for those of us here in the States, and then around 2 to 3 o'clock is a really, if you need to really pick when to sit down and watch NBC4, like 2 to 3-ish is that kind of time frame that you want to watch swimming.
But definitely with swimming, it's all going to be about that U.S.-Australia rivalry, both for the men and the women. And the fact of the matter is when you look at how the past couple of world championships have gone, there's plenty of American women that are going to be favored and likely will win gold medals like Katie Ledecky or Regan Smith or Kate Douglas. But the men don't have as many standout individual swimmers than we've seen before. You have obviously Caleb Dressel, but outside of that, there might not be that much individual domination. You'll probably see a little bit more spread out from around the world. From the French perspective, Leon Marchand is going to be the favorite in both individual medley events. But what to me, one of the most exciting races are always the relays. Specifically, the relay I love watching is the mixed relay because there's such interesting strategies that go into it. Because in swimming, it's not like some of the other mixed relays in different sports where the order is set. You have to go like man, woman, or woman, man, woman, man.
You can kind of pick it and choose.
You can pick and choose what you want to do. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But during that first day, the 4x100 free relay, probably the most popular relay, and featured in the men's final most likely will be former Buckeye swimmer Hunter Armstrong as he aims for his second Olympic gold medal and likely will be racing for the first time in an Olympic final.
Also going on that first week, gymnastics and specifically the team finals and the all-around. The 2 dates I would circle personally would be Tuesday, which would be the women's team final, and then Thursday, August 1st, which would be the individual all-around final. I just came off of watching that Netflix documentary on Simone Biles, so now I'm like extra pumped and super excited. But obviously, I think anyone who's been following U.S. women's gymnastics, those are the 2 dates that we're looking out for. But overall, I mean, also this is the men's, for the U.S., best chance of winning a medal since 2008.
Yeah, both gymnastics competitions for both the men and the women are going to be fascinating. You'll obviously have qualifying during that first weekend. Then you get into the team finals. Then you get into the all-around finals. Then you get into the apparatus finals for the individual apparatuses. So, I mean, obviously history is at stake for Simone Biles. She's trying to become just the second woman to ever win 2 individual all-around gold medals. But something to keep in mind, and I think this is something that's easy to forget every 4 years, when you're trying to qualify for the individual all-around final, only 2 max per country are allowed. So a good example of this rule where we saw a favorite get knocked out because of that rule was in 2012 when Jordan Weber, who was the favorite to win the all-around in London, finished, I think, 5th overall in the all-around qualification, but because 2 other Americans finished ahead of her, including the eventual winner, Gabby Douglas, she wasn't able to compete. So whether or not you might have, which American women might miss out on the all-around final is going to be an interesting question. Who knows? Maybe it's Suni Lee. I doubt it would be Simone Biles. I also doubt it would be Suni Lee too, but just a rule to keep in mind because you can't have 3 Americans in the all-around final. So just to keep that in mind. But definitely this is, I think both the men's and women's teams definitely have really good chances for team medals. I think the U.S. women are probably the favorites to win the team medal.
I think so too. But look out for Brazil, France in that team final for women's gymnastics. So before we get into what I think is going to be the greatest day in Olympic history, let's also talk about some of the other sports that are happening at first week. In my mind, fencing is happening there. We have Cleveland's Lee Kiefer. Surfing also happening that first week, happening thousands of miles away. We haven't talked about that much here in our previews, but it's happening in Tahiti. So there's some interesting sports going on that first week.
Yeah, so surfing, fencing, judo will be happening. So especially with the combat sports, the fighting sports that kind of go in stages. So you have judo in the first week. Boxing goes on for all 2 weeks because you have to obviously have breaks between, bouts because you're punching each other in the face. But then you have like wrestling and taekwondo into the second week. The thing with surfing that's so fascinating, because it's happening in Tahiti, watch out for Tuesday, July 30th. You will literally have live Olympic action. I'm not kidding, 24/7. 24 hours, not 24/7. Because
it feels like 24/7 during these Olympics.
Tuesday, July 30th, the men's triathlon starts at 2 a.m. and the surfing finals don't start until 9:30 p.m. because of the time difference in Tahiti.
Get your naps in, folks.
And the women's surfing gold medal match is going to happen at 10:15 p.m. Eastern. So the timing is hilarious
Yeah.
that we're going to get surfing that late, but it is a radical sport, so it's a late night kind of thing.
I should mention, if you're getting kind of lost already, we will be publishing day by day what to watch for. So
We definitely will. I finished because
yeah.
I had to type all those out, and that was a lot of fun.
You're gonna want NBC4 on your TV screen, and then have NBC4i.com on your mobile device or your laptop. You're gonna want to have as many screens as possible. Let's just touch upon some of the other team sports going on, because obviously those medals won't be decided until the second week. But I think there's a couple matchups that are interesting to me. U.S. men's basketball, Serbia. I think that's probably something I would circle on my calendar.
I would also now circle USA South Sudan, because South Sudan played them last weekend, and the U.S. needed a LeBron James layup with less than 20 seconds to win by 1.
Did I not talk about South Sudan before?
Yeah, South Sudan was up by double digits at halftime in an exhibition against the United States. So this gold medal for the U.S. men's basketball team is not going to go by like that. It's not going to be like what we expect for the women, where they will just breeze through every game. I think the U.S. was like a 45-point favorite in that South Sudan game, and they only won by 1. So Serbia, South Sudan, even the Puerto Rico game is worth watching. I figure the U.S. women's group games, they'll probably win all of them pretty comfortably. The 3x3 basketball tournaments will be happening through the back end of the first week into that first weekend. A lot of live coverage of that. The women's rugby tournament will happen in full during the first couple of days. So we'll see how the U.S. women are going to do there. I would say in terms of prestige and hype, I think the biggest matchup from a team sport perspective for the U.S. is going to be the U.S.-Germany women's soccer game.
I think so too.
Mammoth match. I mean, you're talking about a 4-time World Cup winner against a 2-time World Cup winner. Both teams are looking for redemption. The U.S. was knocked out in the round of 16 of the World Cup last year. Germany was knocked out in the group stages. So that is going to be a massive, massive encounter. I believe that match is happening on Sunday, July 28th. Yep, Sunday, July 28th, which is also the same day as the Serbia-USA men's
So day 2 of competition there, of full competition. Okay, so shall we get into what I think will be the greatest day of Olympic competition?
Let's see what we have here.
Which
Saturday,
would be
August 3rd?
Saturday, August 3rd. If you had to pick any day to just simply sit on the couch and watch Olympics from the moment you wake up to the moment you close your eyes to fall asleep, I would pick that day. I would get your DoorDash deliveries ready to get your food.
Or cook ahead of time.
Yeah, because you are not leaving your couch. Have multiple screens, multiple TVs, borrow a friend's, borrow a neighbor's TV if you have to, because we're talking about gymnastics. We're talking about track and field. We're talking about swimming. We're talking about tennis at Roland Garros, the finals happening that weekend. We're also talking about Olympic golf happening that day too, just to, in between the action, just to have on. It's going to be, I think, the greatest day in Olympic history. I mean, what do we got going?
I mean, everything. And it's not just the fact that there's so much happening that day. It's the fact that you have major medal events and some of the marquee events of the entire Olympics. I mean, just looking through the sheet that I wrote down here, you're going to have the women's singles gold medal final in tennis. Big time matchup there. Third round of the men's golf competition, which will take place during that second weekend. You've got some table tennis medal matches too. All women's soccer quarterfinals happening that day too. All 4 of them. The men's skeet final in shooting, which is one of the major shooting events where you could have an American medalist in that. You've got some gymnastics apparatus finals, women's vault in particular, where we could see potentially maybe Simone Biles win another medal. And then the fact that when you combine the swimming and the track together, because they rarely overlap.
Rarely, yeah, this rarely happens.
That is just very special. Specifically the fact that on that Saturday, you have the men's shot put final featuring Joe Kovacs, where he's going to try and dethrone Ryan Krauser. You have the women's 100-meter final with Sha'Carri Richardson. In the swimming, you're going to have the men's 100 fly, potentially with Caleb Dressel. You'll have the women's 800-meter free with Katie Ledecky. And the decathlon will end too, which essentially is the event that determines who is the greatest athlete in the world. So it's outside of how big the events are and how many events there are in so many major sports. You also have all of the stars of the Olympic Games all competing on that same day.
The closest we got to this was in London 2012, where it was called Super Saturday, and that was really just for like the British audience, because they had 3 gold medals on the track alone for Great Britain, and they also had 3 other medals happening throughout the day. I believe it was in rowing and in cycling. So that was one of the greatest days of competition just for Great Britain. I think this will be one of the greatest days of competition for the entire world. And before we move any further, I just want to give you a sense of the timing for that. So if you had to really choose like a solid like 5-hour window to not move, go anywhere, think about this: 10:19. The women's vault final in gymnastics with Simone Biles. 1:35 p.m. Ryan Krauser, men's shot put on the track and field. Then 2:30 p.m. is when Caleb Dressel is scheduled to swim in that 100-meter butterfly if he makes it into that final. 3:09 p.m. we'll expect Katie Ledecky, women's 800-meter freestyle final, and then 3:20 p.m. Sha'Carri Richardson, women's 100 meters. That's like from 10 a.m. to like 3:30 is a solid few hours of what I think will be amazing Olympic action.
Agreed. And also the fact that Sunday, August 4th is almost like an identical day.
Yeah.
Similarly, because you're going to have the final round for the men's golf tournament. You're going to have the men's singles gold medal match for tennis. You're going to have the men's 100 meters in track and field. The last swimming finals, which include both medley relay finals, which are always really fun to watch. You'll have, I believe... You'll have some volleyball. You'll have some cycling, more apparatus finals and gymnastics. You'll have the women's uneven bars. Do we see Simone Biles in there? Big question mark. Also, a lot more track and field finals too, because that really kicks into high gear. So,
but good to know that men's 100-meter final, that is Sunday, the 4th of August, right?
Yes, Sunday the 4th of August. It's also worth mentioning that Saturday, August 3rd, after all this Olympic action is done, go to the Horseshoe to see Chelsea play Manchester City in an exhibition match at 5 o'clock.
Right. Oh, yeah. We forget there's other things happening here in Columbus. But, yeah, we're also in the middle of the summer of soccer here, which probably deserves its own conversation. I don't think we have time to actually have that conversation. But, of course, yeah, we'll have coverage of that, all the run-up and lead-up. In fact, on Monday before the All-Star game, we have a lot of practices and press conferences happening. So there's just a lot going on in Columbus alone, but with the Olympics, it's going to be fun. So my advice to those of you watching, if you're not excited already, go read up all our previews that we've been publishing on NBC4i.com, and then check back in every day, because we're going to have what to watch for, how to watch, et cetera, and just have NBC4 on the entire time, starting with, of course, the opening ceremony on July 26th. Orri, we're going to circle back midway through, see how we feel mentally, physically, if we, how much coffee we've had, and then we'll get you set for the second half of the Olympics. But for now, thanks for joining us on the NBC4 Sports Digital Roundtable. We'll catch you next time.